Hello everybody, and welcome to my guide for gearing a PvP mage in Phase 1 of Wrath of the Lich King. I have a few sets to share with you, and they're all timestamped below. And on that note, there's also a ton of extra links to the Mage Discord and all the different variations of the BiS sets down below. So there should be a little bit of something for everyone if you're just maybe starting to gear up in Wrath, or you're starting to do 25-man raids and you want to know what to look out for. Alright, let's begin with the fresh 80 PvP set. This is basically week 1 of Wrath, or maybe you just started your character, you don't have any access to any raids, you don't have any arena ratings, so you can't buy any of the good pieces. It's basically comprised of your Savage Gladiator blue set that you can buy with honor. All of the offset pieces are Hateful Gladiator, and there are a couple items from PvE that are pretty easy to pick up, like this is the Kirin Tor Revered Dagger, which has hit rating, which is pretty good because you're kind of start for hit at the start of the expansion. This comes from Nexus Heroic. This wand over here comes from Utkar Keep Heroic. And this ring comes from Halls of Stone Heroic. But for the most part, you know, it's the PvP gear you can get, plus 2 pieces from Wintergrasp, the Flow of Knowledge, the Titan Forge Slippers. And I think this is pretty much what everyone's going to be looking like the first 2 weeks of Wrath. Alright, now we're moving on to the Frost PvP Pre-Bis. And a lot of these sets, by the way, were created by Finx on the Mage Discord, so massive shout out to that guy. But this set assumes that you're like a month into Wrath or a couple weeks into Wrath, and you have the ability to grind arena and get your rating up, so you can get some of these off pieces like the cape, like the belt. But you're going to start seeing the trend here where regardless of where you are in your gearing, there are some pieces from PvE that are just too good to pass up, like grabbing the Soul Blade or grabbing Signet of the Malevolent. These are 10-man max items, and there are also some heroic items that are still in here, like the Wand, like the Offhand, and this is pretty much the best you can do without getting into 25-mans, and if you're really low on arena points. I think this is going to be like the average mage 2 to 3, maybe 4 weeks into Wrath, something like that, just before all of the arena points start rolling in for the main piece, deadly pieces, like, you know, the weapon and the offhand. Alright, so here we are at the True Frost PvP BiS. I say that in quotations, for Phase 1. And you'll notice, just like I mentioned in the last section, there's a lot of PvE pieces here from 10-man and 25-man. There's Malygos gear, there's gear off of 25-man Kel'Thuzad. You're gonna need these pieces if you want to absolutely poop and succeed in Wrath Arena Phase 1. So get your sights on a raiding guild now if you haven't yet, or at the very least, do your best to get the lockouts in every single week. Now there are some variations to this, and I'll show you the Arcane PvP BiS, which is basically you swap out a couple pieces like the pants, you swap out the ring, and maybe you swap out one of your gems so you can get over the hit cap of 8%. And if you take a look at the Mage Discord, this is pretty much the Arcane BiS. A little bit more damage, a little bit less haste, since you have haste talents over in Arcane. But there's going to be a lot of this, honestly. You could even run this set exactly for Frost. I think basically at the higher end of gear, there's a couple of 226 pieces from 25-man that will pretty much go anywhere, and you just supplement as needed. You could even replace this belt with the Deadly Gladiator's belt and just keep playing from there. At this point, you're pretty much splitting hair for like max stats, but I think you'll be fine with the link down below. Alright, now we're on to the Fire PvP BiS, and the main difference between Fire and Arcane/Frost is that you're looking for items with increased critical strike rating, because you want to do nothing but crit out of your mind as Fire. So all of the gems in here, instead of plus haste, you got plus critical strike rating. For the weapon enchant, you have spell power instead of black magic, and you have items like Darkmoon Card Death in here, and just you're trying to maximize your crit for huge ignites and whatnot. By the way, special note for this Darkmoon Card Death, I'm not 100% certain on this yet. It's either Darkmoon Card Death or the Extract of Necromantic Power that's going to be your BiS. And I think they're both pretty close, and I've done a lot of reading, but as far as I can tell, This Dark Moon card death will give you more burst, and I think it'll be more consistent because you won't have to proc your trinket off ignite damage. But you're still gonna need a lot of PvE gear, guys. You're probably, if you're planning on playing both specs, you're probably gonna need to farm some extra gear or get some extra pieces, or at the very least have some extra gems, because you're gonna have to regen your gear a little bit if you want to be really truly optimal as fire. Alright everyone, that wraps up my little video. Just a nice, short, little succinct video. Make sure to check out the Mage Discord, ask questions in there. Hopefully you won't get flamed too hard. If you have any, specific questions, maybe you have a different gear set than what I showed you. But basically, guys, I think Mage is going to be an amazing, fun class to play in Wrath of the Lich King. Either you're going to be in there BGing as fire, you're going to have some crazy arena comps to play. I think it's going to be a good time. The skill cap is as high as it's ever been for this class, and it's just very satisfying to play when everything goes right, when all your CC goes right. It's just a good time. That's it for me. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'm going to keep making videos. I'm going to be making arena videos in the future covering all sorts of topics. So, see you later.